Come with us on a trip from Tokyo to Japan to Hakone, Japan. First, we had to get a snack, so we stopped at the snack place that was in the train station. Now, on to the train ride. Now, I'm sure many of you have never heard of Hakone, Japan before. It's not a super popular tourist destination in Japan. Most tourists stick to the regular places like Tokyo, obviously, Osaka, Kyoto, the more well-known cities. But Hakone is a town just on the outskirts of the city of Tokyo. By train, it took us just about 90 minutes to get there. Now you may be asking, what's the fascination with this little town just on the outskirts of Tokyo? Hakone is a town that's visited often by people who know that on a clear day, you can get a glimpse of Mount Fuji in the distance. Here's the snack that I got. If you don't know it, it's onigiri. Onigiri is rice wrapped in seaweed with a savory filling. The fillings vary. Also, check out my Mount Fuji nails on that close-up. Back to talking about Hakone. So you already know that people travel to Hakone so that they may be able to get to see Mount Fuji in person from the distance. But it's also known for its Japanese baths, its shops, and its restaurant. It also has a beautiful art museum with an observation room with stunning views. Speaking of stunning views, how are you guys enjoying the view of the Japanese countryside from our train ride? And finally, we made it. Here we are in the town of Hakone. As you can see, it's quite charming. It's beautiful, it's green, and full of nature. They had this bridge that went over the main street, so that way they didn't have any pedestrian traffic. On the other side of the town, there was this waterfall and a bridge that led up to some nature and then some type of resort. We didn't check out the resort, but we did decide that it would probably be really nice to stay at a return trip, just to stay in nature and have like a more relaxing trip in the future. Little outfit check for you guys. It was really hot outside that day, so I did wear a tank dress and a little jacket just to cover up. And here's the restaurant that we decided to eat at. I don't know the name of it, honestly. The name might have not even been written in English. But it was really cute, really quaint. We got like this little window seat. You could see like all the shops across from us. And this is what I got to eat. And you guys are gonna hate me, but I don't really remember what it was. It looks like kind of like some type of egg dish and some bread or toast. This trip was a while ago and so much has happened that I just cannot remember. But I do remember that it was good and that the restaurant was cute. It's just walking distance of the train station, so I don't know. If you recognize the inside, comment on my video the name of that restaurant. So we did decide to take a cab up the mountain to the art museum because we thought that would be our best chance of being able to view Mount Fuji. The cab driver did warn us that if it's not a clear day, we will not be able to see the mountain. And he also informed us that most days of the year are not clear enough to see the mountain. So even though that kind of rained on our parade, we were still hopeful and we tried anyways. So this is inside of the art museum at the observation room. And you guys can see these views are just absolutely stunning. This is Japanese nature at its finest. And you are supposed to be able to see Mount Fuji in the background, but it was not clear enough at this point for us to see it. Since we couldn't see Mount Fiji, we decided to walk around the museum, look at art, and kind of check out the grounds of the museum. This is like a tourist ship that goes out. It goes out into the water, and people that go on that boat are also trying to see views of Mount Fiji. You can see that it's a beautiful and stunning experience either way, Mount Fiji in the background or not. Here's some parts of the garden that we walked around. This garden's just right outside of the museum. It's basically a part of the museum. Now right here where you zoom in on these clouds, that's where Mount Fuji's supposed to be. You can almost see like a slight shadow in the background. This museum had a little dessert cafe with an observation room as well. We decided since we came all the way up here, we might as well enjoy a treat and maybe hang out for a while to see if the clouds cleared any more and if we could get a better look at Mount Fuji. This was the dessert I got, little cheesecake, little tea. So after a while, the clouds did start to clear and we could see the slightest silhouette of Mount Fiji. Barely. But coming all the way from California to Japan to Tokyo on a 90-minute train ride to Hakone barely was plenty enough for these two California girls. After a time in the museum, we went back down the mountain. We walked around the town for a little bit. And that was pretty much our time in Hakone. I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it for a day trip or even a weekend trip if you just want to get away from the hustle and bustle of Tokyo. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.